It's loading in.
Should be okay now.
It's coming up.
It is up. We got the message that this is being live streamed.
Okay. I can't see it yet on my side, but you can see it okay, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, it is not yet. We're still waiting. It's not on YouTube yet.
Now it is.
It is on YouTube now. You can
Yeah.
go ahead,
Yes.
Professor.
Yes.
Okay, Reginald, whenever you want to start.
All right. Then good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. We are here in Chicago with Global Ministries University celebrating the World Parliament of Religions. We have been here since Monday, and today is the 4th day. So we're very happy to interact with you during this session. We just have a bit of a snap of what we have done during this week. So we started on Monday. We have had a lot of discussions in different forums. And the theme is a call to conscience, defending freedom and human rights. So just to show who we are, the next slide shows the team that is in Chicago. Sometimes it jumps.
I'm still not live on our end. Oh, here, finally it's coming up.
Are you all right, Professor?
Well, it's still churning. It hasn't quite, I think it's a little slow in loading in. Can you see us on your side?
We're very happy to interact with you during this session.
Yeah, Jerry, it looks to me like we're going fine. My thing says that we're live on
Things are
YouTube.
fine now. Things are fine now.
We have had a lot of discussions in different forums, and the theme is a call to conscience, defending freedom and human rights. So just to show who we are, the next slide shows the team that is in Chicago. All right, yeah, I think we are on, yeah. So I just continue the 2 more slides, then I will invite Professor Gerard to open the session. So here we are at our booth in Chicago, Father Augustine, Professor Gerard, Esther, and myself at our booth. And here I am, I converted to Sikhism for 1 hour, and here I am with Professor Gerard and Marita. So we are having a good time, and the most important part is that we are united as a global family to share humanity. So I'd like to invite Professor Gerard to open the session.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Well, it's still churning. It hasn't quite, I think it's a little slow in loading in. Can you see us on your side?
We can see you. Just continue. We can see you very well. Continue.
Yeah.
Jerry, you have to turn off YouTube. It's bouncing back and forth. You're hearing both the Zoom and the YouTube, and we're getting both, and it's confusing.
So Professor, remain on Zoom, because I think Mary is going to put you on Zoom. So just remain on YouTube. You remain on Zoom.
Should we turn off YouTube?
Mary, what do you think?
Jerry, what you have to do is close YouTube on your computer, because we're hearing both. We're hearing both the Zoom and the delayed YouTube. You just have to close the window on your machine.
So here we are at our booth in Chicago, Father Augustine, Professor Gerard, Esther, myself at our booth. So Professor Gerard, just close the Zoom on your side. The YouTube. I am with Professor Gerard and Marita. So we are having a good time, and the most important part is that we are united as a global family to share humanity. So I'd like to invite Professor Gerard to open the session.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad that you can join us. Well, it's still churning. It hasn't quite, I think it's a little slow in Can you see us on your side?
Yeah, Professor Gerard, just turn off your YouTube.
Can you open your browser, Professor? You will find YouTube there.
Zoom and the YouTube, and we're getting both, and it's
Okay.
confusing.
Yeah,
Professor
okay.
remain on Zoom. Because I think Mary is. You can mute your YouTube, Gerard. You mute.
I'm going to close and come back in just on Zoom.
No, just as mute.
Don't close the Zoom. Don't close the Zoom. You only mute the YouTube in your
Just
browser.
mute on your browser.
Bob? Jerry?
Fine, done now.
I think we're okay now.
Yeah, okay.
I think Professor's disappeared.
Professor disappeared. Did he log himself out?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Perhaps as we wait for Professor to join in, we can just introduce ourselves as we are on the screen. Let's start from the Kenya team. Mustafa,
I can
please,
I can
just go
take
ahead.
on from now if needed, and Professor can follow it up.
Yeah, but while we're waiting, we just introduce ourselves as we are on the
See if
screen.
he
Yeah.
would show up now.
Yeah. Professor, Mustafa, go ahead, please.
This is Mustafa Genç, Director of Harmony Institute. I welcome all to this session. Harmony Institute is an interfaith, interreligious dialogue organization trying to promote harmony in the society. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Very nice. Then there is, I think, Harun from Kenya.
Hello, this is Harun Duku. I work with Mr. Mustafa at Harmony, and I'm also a student at GMU, cohort 2 of religion and science. I'm also a student of Reginald at Tangaza doing social transformation, and I'm really glad to have joined you. And it's a great thing you're doing there. You can see you are having a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. And there is Doris.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name's Doris. I reside in Mombasa. I'm the liaison officer for Global Ministry University. The time Gerard and Marita, they are coming to Kenya. I'm the one who is responsible for the mobilization for the head teachers and the principals. I'm also a graduate of Global Ministry University in the Religious Dialogue in Certificate. And currently, I'm a CPAK finalist. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then on our side, we have Esther. Professor Gerard, we just introduce yourself, then you come in. Esther.
Okay, my name is Esther, and I want to say hi to each one of you, although I am having some difficulties with my throat. I don't know what happened, but I know I was rained on on Monday, so maybe that's what has affected me. But I come from Kenya, and currently I am in San Diego, California, and a student of Global Ministries University, undertaking a course in prison ministry, being groomed to become a prison chaplain. And I got to know GMU when they were visiting in Kenya. I was working for the Coast Interfaith Council of Clerics. And whenever they came, we undertook 2 training sessions for the clerics. And I was in charge of mobilizing the clerics and doing, and again, also doing the logistics of the meeting. So I am very happy and excited to be a part of this movement because we need to kind of coexist and celebrate religious diversity. Thank you very much, and you're welcome.
Thank you. Then we have our chairman, Bob Graff. Bob, would you like to introduce yourself?
Just hello, everybody. I'm in the hall here and it's very noisy, so I won't be on very long. But welcome all. It's a wonderful experience of togetherness and wonderful opportunities for Global Ministries University. And I'm really pleased to meet Father Augustine and Dr. Reginald as part of the science and religion course, which we are doing right now. So thank you. And welcome, everybody.
Thank you very much. I know Father Augustine will introduce himself when he does a presentation after Professor Gerard. So Professor Gerard, you're live now. Go ahead. Unmute, unmute. Unmute. Yeah.
I want to say that Father Augustine and I first connected with each other over 10 years ago when I did a interfaith program in Bangladesh with a Maryknoll priest, Father William McIntyre. And I think that was one of the first major interfaith conferences that GMU did over, actually, I think it was 2007. So that was the beginning of GMU's work with doing major conferences. And this was before we even started our work in Kenya. So, but that was, of course, a heavily Muslim country, and we were among the few Christians that were there. But it was a wonderful opportunity to work with the idea of GMU's interfaith dialogue. And so that was a conference that then I contacted, I think, Father Augustine, because he asked me to be on his board of his journal on science and religion. Rita and I also had done studies in science and religion at Oxford University with the gentleman with whom we did this conference in Bangladesh, Dr. Shamsur Rahman. So GMU's involvement in interfaith and science and religion goes back a long way, probably 15 years, 20 years now. So this development of the Religion and Science Master's Program is a flourishing of something that started a long time ago. And we'll hear from Father Augustine because I know he's been in the science and religion field also for over 20 years. So I'm going to turn it over to him now, and then Marita can come in later also. Father Augustine?
Thank you, Professor Jerry. Thank you, Professor Reginald and all others. Hello to everyone. I am Father Augustine Pamplani from Kerala state in India. I am the director of the Institute of Science and Religion at Little Flower Seminary in Kochi, India. This institute is committed to the promotion of the dialogue between the natural sciences and exploring its philosophical, theological, ethical implications. There is a pool, we pull together resources in philosophy, theology, moral sciences, social sciences, and so on. Basically, interdisciplinary is its charism, Institute of Science and Religion. Okay. We also published the Omega Indian Journal of Science and Religion since the year 2002. We have organized over 200 national and international conferences in science and religion. And as Professor Jerry already mentioned, we have been networking since the last 1 decade or more. Okay, this very discussion is itself taking place in the backdrop of the World Parliament of Religions. I will explain the significance of the science-religion dialogue in a few minutes. And then I will go to explain the format of our Masters in Science-Religion dialogue. Okay. One central theme that is running through the various presentations in the World Parliament of Religions is that religion is in a state of major transitions. The traditional and conventional structures of religions as an institution is very challenging today. They are no longer tenable as they had been in the past. This is the age of reason and of science, we know. So this generation wants to know meaning in a language, in terminologies, in methodologies that are appealing to them. And this generation's language is the language of the sciences. Therefore, this generation wishes to appropriate meaning with regard to the big questions also from the perspective of the science. A knowledge that cannot withstand the scrutiny of the critical scrutiny of the scientific knowledge is no longer tenable, no longer suitable for our contemporary age. That is where the conceptual justification for science-religion dialogue comes in. The renowned Christian theologian Karl Rahner had made this important observation that a religious believer, especially a Christian of the future, will be a mystic. Otherwise, he or she will not exist at all. And this is true. And this is our experience also, that his prediction has come true very much. Without appropriating the horizons of meaning provided by the natural sciences, religion, religious belief, dogmas, and spirituality cannot withstand the test of times. And this is not only the case with the religions, and there is a significant transition that has taken place in the sciences also. Popularly, sciences were considered to be distasteful to religious belief. Okay, formerly religion was considered to be something, a private affair meant for uneducated old ladies. I must say, as a result of the breakthrough developments in natural sciences today, religious belief has gained greater respectability across several spectrums, undoubtedly. This leads the renowned Australian physicist Paul Davies to make this provocative and perhaps contentious statement that today science offers a surer path to God than religion. It's a very provocative statement. He is not exactly a theist in the sense of believing in a personal God. He is at best an agnostic, we could say. But he, out of his exposure to science, is inclined to make this statement that science is better disposed to offer a surer path to God than religion. Pope John Paul II also has made a similar remark that just as the Aristotelian theology has been laying the foundations of theology, mainly in the Christian context, in the Middle Ages today, this should be natural sciences that should form the foundations of theology. Okay, that is the conceptual significance of the science-religion dialogue. And this is relevant for all religions. That is the message that we pick up from the World Parliament of Religion, which is one of the central charism of the Global Ministries University also, interfaith dialogue. Be it Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Judaism, Islam, no one can evade the challenges and opportunities opened up or posed by developments in science. It is in this context that since the last 3 years or so, we have devised a master's program in science-religion dialogue. We already completed, we are going to complete the first round of this program in November 2023. The second round is already on. And this is a 2-year program in 2-year master's program in science-religion dialogue. As I already mentioned, it's some of the central features, the major questions that are tackled in this program is, how do we interpret the profound insights of the Christian, Hindu, Islamic, and Buddhist doctrines in a worldview that is significantly shaped by the natural sciences? In a scientifically dominated culture, how do we still meaningfully talk of the religious vision of God creating the world? Okay, or what are the cosmic, natural, and secular implications of the subject points of revelations in various religions as regards the creation, as regards the nature of the human persons, as regards the human destiny? Does the evolutionary perspective add any new nuance to the theological vision of the human nature today, as is presented by various religions? How to understand scientific atheism today? Okay, how to appropriate the present neurological debates on spirituality and religion? These are some of the central questions that we wish to tackle in our master's program. Nextly, this program is designed in such a way that it would enable the candidates to develop themselves as resource persons, prepared to engage in the big picture questions about the story of the cosmos, approached through the lenses of science and religion. Covering the essential foundations of philosophy and theology, the program is oriented towards the development of skills in interdisciplinary thinking by means of the exploration of the rational and scientific grounds of faith. It confronts the common conventional ideas that science and religion are necessarily in conflict. This point I already clarified in my introduction. To understand, again, its objective is to understand the essential nature of religion and theology, and to reflect on the religious experience of the Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, and Muslims, of the Jews, with their notions of revelation and faith. Okay, this program will provide students with the training necessary for scholarly research and critical reflections upon various themes in science-religion interface. This will provide students with the training necessary for scholarly research and critical reflections upon, sorry, this point I already made. Okay. This would enable the students to appreciate the rich heritage in the Western and Eastern philosophical tradition, and thereby making the students confident in taking up contemporary challenges that various religious traditions face today. Its eligibility, all what you need is basically a bachelor's degree. Of course, science background is much appreciated, but this is not essential because we are very down to earth and we begin with the fundamentals, assuming no serious background in science. Okay. And this program will give you opportunities not only to familiarize with the latest themes in science and dialogue, and it will help you to contribute creatively to the ongoing dialogue by research and writing. Candidates will be encouraged to make publications, the outputs of their assignments and research papers. Okay. We have 10 courses as part of the program, of which I will soon be speaking. Each course is led by 1 or 2 lead faculty, along with the weekly and fortnightly lecture inputs. Interactive learning in students group is one of the major pedagogical strategies that this program follows. And academic style papers, assignment preparations is the mode of evaluation for this master's program. Okay, and for your research purpose, you will be provided with a mentor also. Okay, then the various courses that we are offering, the content of our curriculum, briefly presenting that also. We will begin with a pro seminar on research methodology, a program, a postgraduate level of program of this sort requires some initiation to scientific paper writing, research methodology, and so on, and we introduce you to that. Secondly, there will be an exhaustive introduction to the history of philosophy and philosophy of science. Since our central focus is on the science-religion dialogue, familiarizing oneself with the various schools of the philosophy of science is historically very essential. That we are doing in our 10 lectures. Then familiarity with the basic philosophical concepts also is very essential for understanding the basic concepts in science-religion dialogue. So we have another course covering the entire history, especially of the Western philosophy at the beginning of this program. Then similarly, this is an interdisciplinary project, science-religion dialogue. Therefore, apart from the sciences and philosophy, initiation to theology also is very important. That also forms one of the foundation courses of this program, Introduction to Religion and Theology. So the sacred scriptures of various religious traditions are introduced. the recent methodologies for reading the sacred scriptures, the hermeneutical method, the exegetical approaches, with the understanding the sacred scriptures in their context, some fundamental principles of philosophy of religion. These topics are covered in this course. And then beginning with the fourth course, we move on to substantive dialogue between science and religion. The first course in the second phase would be history of the science-religion interaction. That will give you an overall picture of all the streams of thought, historical lines of discussions in the entire field of science-religion dialogue. The next one would be, since we have a number of students from the Islamic background, and since Islamic theology is not adequately developed in science-religion dialogue, and interface dialogue being one of the professed priorities of Global Ministries University, we have a course exclusively designed for Islamic perspectives on spirituality and science, offered by the president of GMU himself. Okay, then intersecting modern physics, cosmology, and religion. That is our next course in the program. Developments in relativity theory, quantum physics, chaos theory, Big Bang cosmology, the cosmic eschatology. These are the most popular themes as far as the common man is concerned. Therefore, we give due importance to the interdisciplinary issues at stake in modern physics and cosmology. And this is followed by the developments in life sciences, biological sciences. As you know, in the 20th, beginning with the final decade of the 20th century, especially in the 21st century, the center of gravity has in sciences have shifted to the biological sciences. And I'm not going into the details of this idea. Okay, basically, therefore, the philosophical implications, ethical issues of various developments in genetics, cloning, human genome project, stem cell cultivation, biotech, all other branches of biotechnology, all these things are explored in this course. Synthetic biology, artificial life, all those topics we are substantively discussing in this course. And whatever that is not covered over these special courses, we have another final course is advanced and special questions in science-religion dialogue. Okay, neuro-religion, brain sciences, developments in brain sciences, consciousness, science and mysticism, artificial intelligence and robotics, mathematics and their philosophical religious implications, scientific atheism. These are some of the major themes that we are covering in this special question. Of course, theory of evolution is one of the central areas of debate in science-religion dialogue that will be covered significantly in the historical overview as well as in the point discussion on the life sciences. So this would be the general idea about the curriculum altogether. So the first round of students who took this course found it very effective, and they are in 100 tongues when they speak about the usefulness of this program in their ministry. And since most of them hail from the teaching background, enabling them to answer to the big questions that the students ask is very, very important. That is what basically this program is doing. And others also can contribute to anything that we have got to do more about. The final program is a research program. All 9 courses will be covered in the first 18 months, and the last 6 months are reserved exclusively for preparing a research thesis, the output of which will also be published as per the demands that we make. Okay, this is how we have devised the curriculum of this program. And all the details about this program is available at our website, iaiss.com, iaiss.com. GMUISS.com. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Father Augustine, for enlightening us about the GMU program, the Master's Program, Religion and Science. I'll now invite Professor Gerard, if you can introduce Marita to us so that Marita can take over now.
Yeah. My wife, Marita Grudson, taught at Stanford University Medical School for 35 years in the area of ethnogeriatrics, as well as developing a Templeton-funded program in spirituality and meaning in medicine. She's also been a director of the Diocesan Commission in San Jose on the Stewards of Our Common Home, dealing with the climate crisis. And she spoke on Monday night about the role of science and religion in relationship, particularly to the climate issues, which are so prevalent right now. So Marita, would you share a few thoughts from your own, which is part of the religion and science dialogue, is the relationship of faith to the climate crisis?
Thank you. Excuse me. I'll just speak for 5 minutes because we have other people on with us today that we want to hear from. Before I start, I want to point to the fact that Robert Graff, now I don't know where he appears on your screen, but on my screen, he is in the upper right corner. And you can see that he's representing Harmony and GMU right in the middle of the exhibit space, which has over 100 different exhibits. So you get to see live what we have been doing all week, Esther as well. I just want to say that this wonderful religion and science program, which Father Augustine Pamplani has described in some detail for us, really challenges us to address the climate crisis today, because we see the more science that we uncover about our current state of the earth science and the current rate of human activity that is releasing greenhouse gases, the more we realize what a critical situation we're living in today. And that was really brought out to me yesterday. I was in a workshop with women from different parts of the world. There was an African-American judge working in the South and in Africa, and a Native American leader from the Amazon, and an international networker who has a widespread network of women working on the environment. And it became very clear to me that it's really mostly women who are doing the frontline work on the environment, where the tragedies are occurring. And I think that the wedding, the dialogue of religion and science really show us so critically why we have to make this a priority in our lives. And we need the information, we need the science, and we need to connect with faith communities. This is not work any of us can do alone. It's very hard work. And so we have to find the communities that will support us as we engage really religious conversion for a simpler life, living a simpler life. And I just want to say that prayer is very much a part of it, as is meditation, because we can't just focus on the task and our ideas of how we have to respond. We must take time, concentrated time each day to meditate and to get out of our mind and to be present to the divine, to the higher power, however we understand that, so that in fact, we will be guided. I want to say that one of the people who did just an amazing project in the environment is Esther Nadidi, who is with us. She took the course I offered through GMU on Laudato Si and applied it in with the community she is serving in San Diego. And it was just, it's an amazing story, which we have to put on our website. I don't have time to engage Esther in that particular project right now, but it was a wholehearted response. There were many steps to it, and it affected a network in San Diego. And so we never know how, when we bring good science and our commitment to our faith and to God's creation, when we bring them together, we are guided and we connect with other people who help us flourish together. And so I think I'll just leave it there, except I do want to close with one other example. As I was leaving the area where Bob Graff is right now, where all these booths are, yesterday I met a man, I don't have permission to use his name, so I won't, but he is the president of all the interfaith councils in New York State. So each city has an interfaith council, and then he is the president of all those in New York State. And I asked him what their interfaith councils in the state of New York were doing on the environment. And he described to me the efforts that they are doing and the success they have had. And the way they are able to give middle and lower income people discounts on solar panels, the way they're working with the legislative body in the state of New York, and they have been able to pass an electrification for all homes, new homes to be built in New York, which is a critical movement right now, the electrification of homes. So that's just one example of someone that we greeted each other, and I was so encouraged, because we have to work for change in our lives, in our communities, but we also have to look at legislation. And because legislation coming out of the United Nations, the COP meetings, this is where structural change can be integrated into our lives. So I'll stop there and give it back to Reginald.
Thank you very much, Marita, for taking us through some of the program we have done as GMU, and for Father Augustine telling us about the syllabus. So during this week, some of the points have been raised by Marita, what we have been doing as GMU, attending, interacting, sharing our knowledge with other people across the world, listening to different voices, And what has captured my attention is to celebrate these differences, that we are different people, but then we can converge on common issues that help us to work towards the common good. And what Father Augustine said, which is very important, is how do we make rational choices without research? Can we have rational choices in faith? Can we celebrate acceptability and tolerance? Can we celebrate differences? And so this called for us to do research, especially in the area of religion and science. And very lastly, I was very fascinated by the work done by the Hismet movement, of which Mustafa also belongs to, how they're so engrossed into bringing humanity together. After we had a big day on Tuesday, they invited all of us for dinner. And here we were, different scholars across the globe, meeting at the Cultural Center in Chicago, and again, celebrating these differences in a very jovial way, in a very hearty way. The mood at this Parliament of Religions is very, very warm, very, very hearty. People are hugging, people are shaking. Then you ask, if we can celebrate differences in a very jovial way, why can't we have peace and love in humanity in the world today? Why can't we be tolerant towards refugees and migrants? Why can't we have good governments that don't chase their own people out of their own countries? We had a very good reflection by Sonia Pandya, who was talking about women refugees from Turkey crossing over the Mediterranean, some of them drowning, some of them being attacked brutally, and people being denied opportunities to practice their own rights. They're being denied passports, they're being denied visas to leave countries of despots, like it was in Turkey. So what can we do as GMU through our research to inform global fraternity? That for us was very, very important. So we have a few minutes. If somebody has any feedback from what we just discussed, please feel free to share. We still have a few minutes. Mustafa, you want to go?
My question to
Yes.
Father Augustine, I still have some inquiries about new admissions for religion and science master's program. Do we still admit students, or they will be admitted in the next cohort?
Yeah, they are welcome. Dr. Ansari, Mustafa speaking. Yeah, at any time, we admit candidates till September 1, 2023.
Oh,
because
I see.
we have devised this program such a way, because only initially we are offering is foundation courses, philosophy, introduction to philosophy, research methodology, and so on. And if there are takers for this program joining by this September 1st, we will arrange special sessions for them, apart from making available the recorded videos of the past lectures. Only the first course is on, so it is not late for them to join.
Okay. We have a student of your program, Harun. Maybe he is with you for about 2 months. Father, we can get his insights in this at this moment.
Okay, very good, very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I must say that the last 2 months have been interesting and kind of eye-opening. I will say I have a background not in religion and science, but in transformative thinking from social transformation with Reginald. So coming into religion and science, what it does for me is help me understand the other perspectives, being that in our class we get to learn from a lot of different insights and understanding, considering we all come from different backgrounds, be it religious backgrounds, be it even geographical backgrounds. So you get to really understand where people are coming from in their arguments. And so I will say from the 2 months, I can predict that the remaining time for my 2 years and to get the master's, I will really have learned, and I will really be able to appreciate my vulnerabilities and appreciate other people's ideas. And just to say in a nutshell that just because I'm right does not mean the other person is wrong. And just because they are right, it does not mean I'm wrong. So I'm appreciating other people's input. And basically, just to say, it has helped me appreciate our differences, that our differences do not necessarily make us be apart, but they complement us. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Harun. You said something very important there, to celebrate differences, but also that just because people are right, I should not follow that they are right. And this is what we are trying to reason. We reason, not because the majority are saying, let's go and bomb a ship, so we say they're right. No. So we need to reason and say, no, that's not the right approach. And through this program, we're able to question what people perceive to be right and what we ourselves perceive to be right. So where do we meet then? We meet through research and reasoning through research. There is also something Marita said that's very important: climate change, bringing communities together. And then in Mombasa, we have this organic farming. I call it uniting faith through food production without chemicals, because we are concerned about climate change. Doris, do you want to say something about it? Organic farming in Mombasa, bringing faith together. I know Mustafa has been very much involved with Esther. So just briefly, maybe 10 seconds or 30, say what you feel you want to say.
I thank God because of that opportunity of organic farming, because of lifestyle nowadays. You know, there are many diseases which are brought by the food which is grown with fertilizers. So I embrace organic farming because we'll be free from diseases. And as life has gone up, at least we'll have accessibility of good food, which will prevent the lifestyle diseases. Thank you so much, Dr. Nalugala.
Thank you. And I know, Mustafa, you have been very much involved. Which other faith groups are involved in this initiative, Mustafa?
So we have Muslims, we have Christian fellows coming from different denominations like Anglican Church, Lutheran Church, amongst the others. So it's a vibrant group of interfaith fellows, yes.
Very fine, very nice. Yeah. And I know this is one of the initiatives, the early initiatives, Professor Gerard and Marita coming to Kenya so many times. What would you say, Professor, that now is coming out after so many years of being in Mombasa? Something tangible is coming out that brings different faiths together. Would you want to say something, Professor?
I'd like to just say that I think the projects that we started in Mombasa way back in 2012, we started with Father Lago, who was Vicar General of the Diocese of Mombasa. And he encouraged us, after we did a seminar for the priests and religious on interfaith dialogue, to start a program for CICC, of which Esther at the time was also one of the staff. So we had to go out back to the United States and raise funds to start this program, which we did. And we conducted this program for quite a few years, starting with religious leaders. And then we expanded it to include teachers and principals, actually with the support of the Kenya Educational Director for the coastal region. And the Hizmet movement in Mombasa and in Nairobi played a key role in making that connection with the Kenya Educational Director. One time we had one of our seminars and he came and he liked so much the program. Fatih Agdagan was the key link we had at the time with the regional commissioner for education. So he said, please continue this program for the principals. And that then evolved into another step in our work in Kenya, was making a connection to Tangasa University Institute for Interreligious Dialogue and Islamic Studies. We made a connection with Father Innocent, and GMU formed affiliation with Tangasa University. And in 2021, we did our first major interfaith international conference, reaching 19 countries. What started as just a local project in the coastal region has now expanded into a much more to a global project. And now you see how we've done 2 international conferences in coordination with IRDIS, the Institute for Religion and Interfaith Dialogue, and Harmony Institute, and other Islamic institutions in Kenya and in Indonesia. So we've published these conferences. Now we're in the process of publishing the 2023 conference. So we've done 2 of them, 2021, 2023. So you can see how we planted some seeds back in 2012, and now over 10 years later, these seeds are sprouting into many, many projects. So here we are at the Parliament of Religions, where we are sharing with the whole world. And it's been wonderful to be with other religious groups around the world and to make our work even more known. So we look forward to the coming years, the next few years, how we can develop even further with Harmony Institute and with the other partners we have, Tungasa University and the Science and Religion Institute in Kerala. Well, it's opening many new doors for us of service, both to Kenya, to Africa, and to the world. So we're excited to be part of this parliament and to be with you and to share so deeply. And we give thanks particularly to those who helped fund this program. Harmony Institute was one of our co-sponsors for our booth at the Parliament. And you can see Bob Graff there, who's sitting at our booth there right now, where we've been able to meet many people here at the Parliament. And so again, thank you everybody who's played a role in this decade-long journey we're doing together. And we talk about walking together in the light of Fratelli Tutti. And so all of us are walking together on this journey of this interfaith journey. And it's exciting to be with you through Zoom. And I think we can put this program hopefully up on our website. We've recorded it. So other people who want to know about GMU and the Religion and Science program and all the other things we're doing will be able to watch this and see the role that GMU is playing, not only in Kenya, but also in the whole world. So this is a great opportunity for us to spread our message. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Professor. So we as Global Ministries University have been attending the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago, whose theme was A Call to Conscience, Defending Freedom and Human Rights. And having been here representing Tungasa University, Harmony Institute, and other groups from Africa, and particularly in Kenya, I was very, very touched by some of the themes that emerged from this conference. For example, women and political conflict, the question of Turkey, trauma and spiritual coping strategies, about using rape as a tool of war, repression, and on women. There was another very interesting theme about climate change, Franciscan spirituality and other spiritualities as a basis of youth climate action. And of course, the role of faith community and combating human trafficking. And in all this, we came to learn that celebrating our differences does not bring about conflict, but brings joy and smiles to very many people. So thank you very much for being part of this. And now we close our webinar and just wave goodbye.
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 Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.